In this video, we have a Civic who goes rally crossing in Race B. Somebody absolutely sent it on me, but do they make it? And in Race C, it all kicks off as far as a TCR member goes for a spin. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Gran Turismo weekly race guide here in 2023, week 44 this week, and we are doing race wars. Yes, if you're a fan of Fast and Furious, we're in Civics and we're in the desert for race A. It's a very interesting race, that's for sure, because it's actually Horse Thief Mile. What exactly are we doing here then? 8 laps here at Horse Thief Mile. It's a good start with the false start check, an interesting starting position as well. Sports medium tyres with times 1 fuel and tyre wear, and Bop is on. But my word, does this car want to just understeer off with the amount of power it's got. Definitely requires some unique driving, so not a lot of people are going to like this combo. So for you in the background, there are some timestamps for you. However, I did go and try out the race for you. I've also got a track guide at the very end of race A, going into race B, if you didn't already tell by the old timestamps there. So let's jump to that race now. Let's have a look exactly what happens, and I'll give you that lap guide to help you out. Right then, here we go at the start. As I say, unique start position because we're starting from the pits over the right-hand side. And various driver ratings in this one. And, of course, with the false start check, traction control on 1. Hold the handbrake as we get ready to go here. And it's go! Here we go then, out the pits. I'm sure this is safe as we leave the pit entry there and head onto the circuit. Now, going into this one, I wasn't expecting the greatest of driving standards, but coming into here, I wasn't expecting someone to go so slow there, but that was my fault, of course. I am the car behind. I gave the German up ahead a tap, but they stayed on the circuit as we go into this right-hander. Slowing it down here, get a tap from behind, and unfortunately that sends me back into the German there. And yeah, here we go then. So I'm still at the back here, stayed away from them there so they could come back on circuit. Let's get into this race now as we head towards the left-hander. And one of the big things you're going to experience here is that unless you drive this car right, you're going to understeer like crazy. Like, absolutely crazy. So people will oversaw the car because they're not used to the understeer. So one trick you've got to do here is go to first gear. First gear, it just turns then, and then you can accelerate out in third gear. So you avoid second gear entirely there. Now, let's fast forward a little bit here as we continue on round with somebody going rally crossing there as they come back on the circuit there with a bit of a jump over on the bank in there. We're going to go around the outside to up into P8, but a very hard circuit here to race as we see Sai up ahead. Sai a part of TCR, of course, as TCR have a very big surprise coming. I just heard it's been shipped today. So a big surprise coming for TCR as we go into the right-hander. Sai just avoiding the Belgium driver there. We go on the inside and we take another position then. Up into P7 we go with the P6 driver of Denison up ahead. What can we do here as we go into left? Oh, hello. We've got a French driver coming back. I have no idea where they went. We'll have a look at that in the bloopers as we go towards the left-hand side then. So we're going to go for some form of cutback if we can. That's what we're going to try and do here. I had to lift off a little bit, down the brakes. Oh, slight bit of contact there. Again, this is where it tightens up as well on exits. So difficult to drive or race with, essentially, as we continue on through. So I was looking down the inside as we look to catch up back up to the Belgium driver. You see the understeer there that they suffered as we continue on out of here. Now they're changing up the gears where I'm definitely third gear out of corners, first gear into corners. It just allows the rear to rotate a little bit, and that's what we're after here. So heading through this right-hander, I could see that the Belgium driver up ahead was going to understeer off. I could just tell with the way they were driving there. And going through here, that's exactly what they did. So I'm going to head towards that inside line. I'm going to take that position as we go into the braking zone. But coming into here, fortunately, slight tap from behind. We managed to stop it and continue on through there. Oh, hello. Where am I going? Stay to the left, Tidge. Stay to the left. As we continue on around then. So lap number 4 then. We catch up to this Swiss driver. Going to look down the inside, heading towards turn 2 or 3. I have no idea what it's numbered here. As we go into here, side by side. And this is the understeer I tell you about. Look at that. Coming out of here. They get a better exit on the outside line. Beautiful racing there with the Swiss driver. V1N. Oh, we'll call you Vin. We'll call you Vin from now on as we go into the left-hander and round the outside this time. Up into third gear, trying to short shift, slight tap. They're trying to avoid me though, to be fair. You know, it's all good racing this one. I'm expecting contact here just because of how tight this circuit is as we're in third gear then, keeping a tight line. Continue on now. We are now ahead into P4. A long way off the leaders, though. 13 seconds off the leaders. Going to have to do something here. We advance to the final lap then. We're down to 8.8 seconds. We have been catching as we go into this right-hander. And I'm going to just cut the track a little bit too much here as we head down towards the left-hander here. Now, the problem with that, of course, if you cut, you get a penalty. So I did get a penalty here as we continue on around then to finish the race. And we are going to take a 1 second penalty. Remember, it always rounds up penalties if you didn't know that. So if you have a 0.5 penalty, it'll go up to 1 second on the finish line. That's the end of race A, though. You guys can see it was very tight, and there is going to be contact there. But going into a track guide then, going through turn 1, I stay in 3rd gear. I'm just lifting off, trying to keep it. And then I go into 4th gear, a bit of a short shift to 4th gear to accelerate through the corner. And your first brake marker is going to be that 50 board on the left-hand side. Now, that whole first corner is very difficult to get right. So just be on and off the throttle in 3rd gear. Allow the car to roll a little bit. You should be fine. But as you approach this turn 2, 50 board on the left-hand side, you're going to hit the brakes. You're going to drop to 1st gear, okay? All the way down to 1st gear, and then turn into the corner, and it should just rotate round, and then short shift all the way up to 3rd gear. That'll stop you hitting the limiter in 2nd gear, and it just reduces the wheel spin a teeny tiny bit, although you did hear the screeching there of the front tyres trying to grip. Now, your next marker is in between the 50 and the 20 board. There's a piece of grass there on the right side. Lovely bit of grass, that. And you can use that as your brake marker. So just after the 50 board if you just want to use the board there. But I was using that on the right-hand side. As I come into here, once again, to 1st gear, you notice how it rotates very nicely then, up to 3rd gear, and boot it out as quick as I can there. And then we need to get over towards the left-hand side. I don't get over quite quick enough. So the shed on the right is your brake marker. You're braking after that leaves your screen, but like half a second after it leaves your screen. But of course, it's going to be even more because I'm on the inside line here rather than the outside line where I should be. But essentially, use that shed as your brake marker for this right-hander. Again, 1st gear for this corner, and then you're going to short shift to 3rd as we go through here to accelerate out nicely there. And as we go down here, on the right side, you've got those 2 plants. It's very obvious when you're driving. So use the first one as your brake marker. You're braking before the first one, okay? So literally go on the brakes. Again, 1st gear for this next one, but you're not going to short shift to 3rd this time. You'll just short shift to 2nd on this one. So down into 1st gear we go. Up into 2nd gear, going to beat it on out of here. And essentially, I've just paused it here because it's easier to stop it here. But on the left-hand side, you got that white marker in the sand. As that leaves your screen, that's when you're going to brake, okay, for the final corner. But yeah, 2nd gear out of this corner. You will get a bit of wheel spin, so try and get over to the left-hand side if you can. Maybe even avoid full throttle if you're struggling. I avoid full throttle there as I go into 1st gear. Now, I'm going to short shift to 3rd to accelerate out of here, and I'm going to stay in 3rd now as I go through here. Now, you may want to go to 4th gear if you're on a real fast lap, but I stay in 3rd as I head over here. I cut a lot of that inside line and just make sure I get into the 56s, which was my goal in terms of that time trial. I'm not spending too much time on that time trial because it's not the greatest in my opinion. But hey, something different and something that I like. Something that's not different is Red Bull Ring, which is what you're seeing in the background. We're racing 5 laps here at Red Bull Ring. It's a rolling start on racing hard tyres in Group 4 with brake balance and a bit of suspension to be altered there as well. But the Mazda 3 is dominant here. Very quick car. So that's the car I went in to effectively give us a touring car race. Let's jump to that race then. Let's have a look exactly what happens. Right, here we are then at the start. As you can see, Mazda 3s absolutely everywhere. We do have a Ferrari and a Bugatti in here, though. We'll see how they get on in this race. If you're not subscribed already, please do subscribe to the channel. We are on our journey to 40k, and we are so close now. There is going to be a big special, and I mean a very, very big special. Right, let's get into this race then. So as you see there, the rolling start, everybody should be fine as we start this race. Going through turn 1. Nobody really died here, but we did get an excellent run on Tidgney and Mario Sonic up ahead. So we're going to go for the bug draft on Mario Sonic. Mario Sonic asked in the chat beforehand to work together. So I was like, okay, sure thing, let's go for it. You asked, I will give as we head towards the turn 2 here, the right-hander, the short right-hander. A lot of dives happen here. However, we managed to survive this nicely, and only one car disappears there. I didn't even see what happened, really. So we'll check that out in the bloopers, of course, at the end of this video. Fast forwarding on, obviously I lost out a little bit there just because I was so slow into the corner. Going through here though, the Ferrari up ahead is going to go wide. There's also somebody else ghosted up ahead as well. And the Ferrari's looking to come back on the racing line there. The German says no. So we're going to go down the inside of the Monster Inc. Ferrari then as we go into the left-hander right behind the Mazda 3 here. Now, I will say again, this reminds me of touring cars, this car. It really does. It's got that stance about it. It's front-wheel drive. Very much touring car-esque as we go through the left-hander here and continue on out. And, oh, hello, the Ferrari's gone on the outside there. Well played by Nico there, the French driver. And we're going to go around the other side of the German then. So the German gets absolutely robbed there as we head towards right-hander. The Greek driver taking a penalty then as we go into the right-hander and continue on through here. They're going to try and return to the racing line. The Ferrari was there though. Ferrari sends it down the inside. Didn't get it stopped. They do indeed, but the Greeks looking for the move back past them here. And this is the problem with the Mazda 3 at the moment. It is so quick in a straight line. Look at this. I'm just flying past this Ferrari. I really am. And at a track like Red Bull Ring, power is critical here in order to get the best lap time. There's so many straights, and we are through there, and we do get the position. I think Nico got bleed out there behind. So we go a bit further on into lap 2 then. We've got the Greek driver very close up ahead now, going for that defensive line towards the right-hander down here at the bottom of the hill as we go into here. Then are they going to go too deep or not too deep? Oh, looks like somebody's got a penalty up ahead. Oh, in fact, they're off now, the German. So we're going to take that position up into P11. We're still fighting the Greek, though. Gives me just enough room on the right side. Lovely bit of racing then as we go in towards the left then. Looking to go around the outside now. Can we do this? We brake, we turn, we're ahead. We are a go. Up into P10 we go then as we advance to lap number 3. And the Greeks coming back at me then as we head towards the right-hander. I noticed they outbrake themselves a little bit here, so keep towards the left. Allow them to go deep and just do that cut back there. And I maintain the position very nicely. Something to keep an eye out there. Lots of people will dive into that corner. So if they do, try and avoid them and then do the cutback. It will work very well. Coming down here then, we've got Jesse and Dav here. Jesse's got a track limit penalty at turn 1. But as we're going into this right-hander, the Veyron is going to go a bit wide there. Dav also goes a bit wide then. And we're looking to get past 2 people here as we continue on through then. Oh, 2 positions, 1 corner. I like those. As we've got Mario Sonic overhead, goes defensive then in towards the right-hander. As we slow this down nicely and continue on through, we accelerate out of here as quick as possible. Unfortunately, Mario Sonic gets a better run than us out of that corner, maintaining the position for now then as we head to the bottom of the hill for the final time here at Red Bull Ring. Well, it'd be a send and a half if we sent it from here, so we're just going to maintain our position here, try and get a better line through the corner. Oh, hello, we just nearly got rear-ended there. Somebody went a bit deep there, did Dav, as we are now very close to Mario Sonic then, as we head towards the left-hander. I'm going to look down the inside then. I'm going to send it down the inside in towards the braking zone we go. And I just understeer a bit. I slightly tapped Mario Sonic there, so I say go, 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 because that's my fault, that one, as we continue on. I think Mario Sonic was saying thank you there, or, you know, I see it was a mistake, no worries sort of thing. As we head towards the last corner then, it's free-for-all then for the final corner. Can we get the run to Mario Sonic as we lead the final corner then? We're going to head towards the line. Mario Sonic goes towards that inside. We stick to the outside. Is Mario Sonic going to keep it? Yes, he is. But a good little race there at the end. And a good race overall, to be fair. But do expect touring car actions in a touring car-esque race. That is for sure. But, you know, it's kind of fun. I kind of like it. And it is what it is when it's Red Bull Ring for the millionth time. Right, heading towards turn 1 then. How do you do, Red Bull Ring? It's the obvious marker. I always say here at Red Bull Ring, the 100 board is your marker. Now, what I'm actually doing is sticking towards the left-hand side here at Red Bull Ring. They do this in real life, by the way. DTM did this a few weeks ago, even months ago now. Stick towards left-hand side. Really maximize how straight you can do this corner. You know, straighten up the corner as much as possible. Accelerate through. Getting on the throttle as early as possible to really keep the revs high. Remember, you have to rev the nuts out of the Master 3, and that's what I'm doing right here. We're going to head towards the next corner then, and of course we're going to look towards the left hand side on the 100 board, but there's an additional marker you can use instead of the 100 board if you like, and that's on the right hand side. We've got 2 marshals there on a marshal post. As that hits the edge of your screen, you can also hit the brakes. Now, some of you will be saying, why aren't you using all the track width here? Now, you can do, to be honest with you, you can, but I struggle with a bit of the braking not being as good when I'm over on that side of the track for this corner. So I sort of stayed on the inside of the track. And I dropped first gear there, up into second as we continue on out of here. Try and avoid wheel spin as much as possible out of that corner. It will cost you time hitting the limiter. Whereas if you're just below it, it will work out very nicely indeed. As we head down the hill then, we're going to be looking on the left-hand side. We're going past the 150 board, and it's well before the 100 board. There are these rocks on the left-hand side. You see rock paths there. It's the second to last one before the 100. That's what I'm going to use as a brake marker here. Or you can use a 100 board, of course, but you're not braking at it. You are braking before that 100 board. But that's my marker on the left-hand side as I go on the brakes here. Now, you actually want a good run through this corner. So you actually want to turn in quite tight so you can accelerate out and just suffer with a bit of the understeer as you power on through. Right, we're going to forget about the 100 board now. We're going to start thinking about the 50 board because that's our next marker for this left-hander. Or the lines, of course. The lines are all there on the edge of the circuit. But I'm braking before I get to it. You can see that here. I'm braking after the 100, before the 50. This is what, 65 meters-ish? You can see I've gone on the brakes then for this left-hander. Now, critically, it's a front-wheel drive car, so you want to get your tyres on the inside of that curbing if you can. I don't quite do it. I am going to suffer a bit of understeer on exit, so just be cautious of that. I'm running too wide. You will get a penalty. For the next left-hander, as the short circuit meets the full circuit, where I've literally marked there, where the white lines meet, that's my brake marker for the second one. Similar to the last corner, you want to get your tyres on the inside of this curbing, okay? If you get it on the inside of the curbing, it will drag you around a little bit. And again, you are going to suffer a little bit on the exit in terms of understeer. So do be careful of that. A short shift to fourth may be worthwhile, but remember, maximum revs in this car for maximum speed, so you will lose a little bit of time short shifting at any point. Heading towards the penultimate corner then, On the left-hand side, you have a marshal box there with no marshals in it, actually, which is a bit bizarre. But on the left-hand side there, we're braking just before this. And again, we're using all of the circuit because it's not a hard braking. What we're going to do, okay, is we're going to brake just before the marshal box on the left-hand side. 4th gear, try and get our tyres on the inside of the curbing, accelerate through there and over towards the left-hand side, staying on the red and white curbing to make sure we don't get track limits penalty. And before the end of the Austrian flag, I've just highlighted it there, before you get to that point, you need to start braking for the final corner. Now, you do actually want to cut the final corner a little bit because it'll just drag you around a little bit, especially in a front-wheel drive car. The weight shift sort of makes it point a little bit more. As I go through here, notice how I get that little bit more rotation. I can accelerate out and head towards the line where I believe this is a 35.6 maybe? I can't remember. Yes, it is 35.6. And that is it for the Red Bull Ring. Let's jump to race C then, where we're at another familiar circuit that we do quite often. It's Spa-Francorchamps, and we are in Group 3 machinery that you can see in the background. What exactly are we doing here? Is it a fun race? That is the question. Well, we're doing 8 laps. It's a rolling start, a shocking rolling start, I might add. Soft and medium tyres both are required. ×1 fuel, ×8 tyre wear, and you can alter the brake balance and the suspension in these Group 3 cars. Now, I chose the BMW M6 because we know it's very good on tyre wear. If you're not quite sure why it's so good, make sure you check out the car profiles on the channel. They really do give you some good advice, in my opinion, that will help you choose a car going forward. Let's jump to the race then. Let's have a look exactly what happens. And I'll give you a lap guide at the very end. Right, here we go then with the final race. And you can see many choices being made. Sonic choosing the Golf Ford GT. Remember, if you haven't subscribed already, please do subscribe. We're so close to 40k. And as I say, there's a massive special coming up for you. I do mean massive. It's a big one. I know the 30k one isn't done yet, but that's still on my radar. Don't worry. But the 40k, yeah, I can do it straight away. Let's put it that way. Let's get into the race then, because obviously the rolling start at Spa is atrocious. We only get into the race towards the end of lap 1, so arguably it's a 7-lap race rather than 8-lap one. But hey, here we go. In towards the left we go. I just brake a bit earlier here, and I'm starting on the medium tyre because I'm starting towards the back of the grid. I wasn't sure how long the softs were going to last here. Sonic goes defensive. We're going to try around the outside of the Ford GTL and race car Spec 2 as we go into the left-hander. We do get it slowed down here. Mario around the outside. I see Mario's got the run here. I did try and go open it up for Mario, but Mario gave Sandy Bandy, what a name, Sandy Bandy, a bit of a bump draft there as we head towards turn 1. So we're looking around the outside of the GTR then. Inferno choosing the Hyundai, which after the last car profile is an amazing choice there, Inferno, as we continue on out. Of course, Inferno are part of TCR and gives the tunes out as well that I do put into these videos. So big shout out to Inferno Fox. So everyone's sort of trying to set themselves up here so that we're all in line and not side by side going through Blanchimon. Not Blanchimon, sorry. Rouge and Radion. Blanchimon's around the other side, Tidge, your weapon, as we head up the hill and onto the Kemmel straight here. And we do have a good run on the GTR then. We're going to look down the inside of that GTR in this BMW M6 as we head towards Lake Combe then. As we go into the braking zone, we're side by side. In we go. Gives me just enough room. Beautiful defense from Sandy Bandy. Beautiful indeed as we continue on in this race. So can we get past anywhere else? That is the question. So I really want to make my way up this grid as quick as I can, just so I can choose the strategy that I want to go on. Going into the right-hander, Sandy Bandy goes a bit deep then. We are in a train of cars here with Jindra, and Jindra is on the soft tyres, I will tell you now, at the back of this pack as we go through the left-hander. Now, I will say, tyre choice is going to be critical here just because of where you start. Now, in terms of tyre wear and how they last, my idea when I did this race initially was to make sure that I had at least a quarter at lap 2, and if I had over 3/4 of the tyre left, that I was going to pit on the next lap essentially. So here we've got a good run on the GTR. I'm going to try around the outside once again here. The GTR looking to try and carry speed, which they do in order to defend it. So a beautiful defense from the GTR driver as we continue on around then. And we're still going to fight again here to try and get into that P10 position as we go through the right-hander. Lots of cars up ahead as well. Going to go through this right-hander, which I lift a little bit here just because of the washout we suffer from that dirty air as we are now in the slipstream of Sandy Bandy in that Nissan GTR. Where are they going to go then? I'm assuming they're going to go towards the inside. Yes, they are. We're going to look towards the outside then at Blanchimon. And as we head towards Blanchimon, they turn as if I'm not there, to be honest with you. No, and you can see me put my hand up there because I was a bit disappointed after the great racing at Lake Combe, just to be bumped off there, which was pretty obvious that was there. I was a bit frustrated. Right, credit here. We've got a spinning car there from McLaren, and Sandy Bandy taps Inferno Fox as well. We've got a Supra who is going very slow out of the bus stop chicane. So we've gained 2 positions there. Looking to gain another one here as we head towards the first corner here as we go onto the brakes then and slowing it down nicely. And it looks like we are through. We have gained that position. So another position gained up into P7 then we go. And you can see that Alexa turning the lights on and off as we did the video. So we're going to head towards Rouge Radion again, right behind the Nissan GTR as we go up here. And we're going to go towards the left-hand side then. So we're going to try and go defensive then again into Lake Home. And we're going to see the difference here between the GTR and the BMW M6. I know you've asked me to do a beat the meta for that Nissan GTR. It's climbing up slowly. Remember, if I do see a vote for a beat the meta, I will add it to the votes as we go side by side through here. Beautiful racing. Beautiful racing indeed. There's a slight tap there, but I couldn't go any more over. I was already over the curb. But we are up into P6 then, as lap number 3, I decided to come in the pits because our tyre wear is actually better than expected. I know this car is very good, but it's even better than I thought. So we come out the pits then on soft tyres. Long pit stop. It really is a long one as we continue on out of here then. So what we're going to do is actually advance a bit further on here to lap number 7 until I get some action. Yes, quite a bit of boring section of the race there. Skipped out for you, obviously, so you get the lovely entertainment as we race a Bentley Genesis. Or Genesis Bentley? I'm not too sure. But obviously, it's basically our Bentley in the game is this Genesis as we look around the outside then of Jesse as we head towards Lake Home. Look at this side by side. And as we go into here, I outbrake Jesse. I managed to make the corner as well. So around the outside, how about that? Beautiful racing there with you, Jesse, as we advance towards the end of lap 7 now where we catch up to Muscappi then as we go into left. I get a bit of understeer there from a bit of dirty air. Muscappi gets oversteer there just from putting the power down a bit too early in that Genesis, which is very susceptible to as we go into the right. So I know Muscappi's going to have dirt on their tyres right now. I really do. So I'm like, okay, I can get an advantage here because coming through here, they're going to suffer with understeer. And you can see that the slow speed going all 4 wheels off the circuit means dirty tyres in Gran Turismo if you're new to Gran Turismo. So if you've got 3 wheels off, it's fine. 4 wheels off, you've got dirty tyres on your car then. Heading towards Blanchimont side by side, then through we go here. Now it looks like there was a tap there, but I'm not sure whether there was or not, but it's still good racing. It's a risk on my part going on the outside of Blanchimont. So it's all good there as we head to the bus stop chicane. So at this moment I was like, okay, I'm going to go for the run on the Kemmel, a bit like I did with Jesse behind me here, and that way I should potentially get P4. That was the plan at least. Let's see if we can put that plan into fruition then as we head towards turn 1. Muscappi goes very defensive indeed. I go hard on the brakes here. I was trying to go for a bit of a wider line to get a better run out, but yeah, it didn't really work out, to be honest with you. Muscappi had a really good exit there. Really good indeed as we head towards Eau Rouge and Radion then. Obviously, the Kemmel Straight, big overtaking place. And then the next one is the bus stop chicane in the middle of the circuit. Very hard to overtake. You can get it done. Don't get me wrong. You can get it done. Just much harder to do, as we've seen in this video. Right, Muscappi then did try and break the slipstream a little bit here. We are slowly catching that Genesis. Very quick car, that Genesis. Obviously, a partner of Gran Turismo. As we head towards Lake Home, they go defensive then. We're going round on the outside then. Can we do this? Coming into here. And I'm just trying to avoid a little bit of contact there. Unfortunately, I go round, and at the time I thought maybe there was contact, so maybe a bit of netcode. I wasn't too sure, but I was like, but you know, we're so far ahead there, we still keep our P6. So not the end of the end of the world. At the end of the day, we only lost 1 position from all of that. What we'll do is I'll go into a track guide first before we look at all the bloopers in this race. But one thing I will say with the tyre wear, you can pit on lap 1. You can do 7 soft, 1 medium, and that will be the strategy for this week. Heading towards turn 1 then. I know a lot of you have seen this marker before, but it's a 100 board on the left-hand side here at Spa is your brake marker for turn 1, okay? You're going to brake just after that leaves the screen, especially on the softer compounder tyre, which is why we're doing the guide again on the softer compounder tyre. I've got guides for all the tyres now in Group 3 at this circuit, so hopefully at least one of them will be of use going forward. We'll leave that corner then and head towards Eau Rouge Radion, which is completely flat when it's soft compounder tyres. I mean, it's flat on hard tyres, so soft tyres, it's really easy. All you want to do there really is straighten the car up as much as possible to maintain 1 extra mile an hour. It will benefit you by the end of the straight. As we get there then, what we're looking for is the start of the curb on the left-hand side. Yes, we've got similar speeds to other compounder tyres, but you still want to use that as your marker because you potentially have just gained 1 mile an hour or 2 miles an hour from Eau Rouge and Radion. So that's always my brake marker for Lake Home. So through here we go, and in towards the left we go, clipping the curb on the left-hand side, over towards the left, and then in to the right. We clip that curb and continue on out and head down towards the next corner then. Now, what we're looking for here is to start the curb once again. And brake before you get to this, okay? If you brake on it, you're going to go a little bit deep, and you really don't want that, to be honest with you. Brake a bit earlier, and you should be fine and dandy, okay? Now, I'm actually doing this in the Toyota Supra. I didn't actually mention that. I'm doing this track guide in the Toyota Supra because it's going to be a very strong car here this week, that car. Now, accelerating markers. I don't give you these very often, but here's one for you. On the right side, you've got the bollards here. The very last bollard, there's 3 of them, I think there is. But essentially, when you see that bollard, start to accelerate, okay? You can't see the exit, but you know you're going to make the exit. That's my rule of thumb. When you've got a marker like that, you can go and fine and dandy, aren't we? Over towards the right side, we've got these brakes in the barriers there at the top, okay? Now, you're braking after the first one, but before the second one, okay? And I'm normally looking at the second one only, really, because I want to make sure I'm turning before I get to that, okay? If I'm turning on it, I'm going to go a bit wide. Turn before it, as I do there, then I should click the curb and accelerate through. Be careful on exit. It's very slippy stuff on the exit there, so if you run too wide, you are going to spin out. Head towards P1 then. On the left-hand side, we're looking for 2 marshals there. Literally, they are your markers. Or you can use the fence that goes from dark grey to light grey, or the end of the fence as well there that we've got. So you've got multiple markers there, all in the same place, but the marshals are there to help you, but from a crash, obviously, but also to help you as a brake marker in Gran Turismo. So through here we go, staying around 105 miles an hour, accelerate out. The quicker you can get on the throttle, obviously, the better, but you will suffer a bit of understeer, not too much on the softer compound of tyre. We're carrying much more speed than usual from Puon because of the softer compound tyre, so I'd recommend using the gantry above you as your brake marker. You can try and get closer to the curb and the 50 board, but the gantry up at the top is going to be your better marker, essentially, okay, as you go onto the brakes here. You actually want to keep a tighter line here for the right, okay, to give you a better line for the left. And I always lift here a little bit, try and click the curb and accelerate out. Again, be careful on exit, it's very slippy if you go over the curb. On this right-hander then, you've got the start of the curb or that white marker on the right-hand side. Pick and choose whichever one you like here. You can see I'm braking before the curb and before that marker. They're both before they get to either your edge of the screen or the bottom of your screen. Just pick and choose wisely. They're markers and references for you to use here. So I accelerate quite early here as I want to get a good run onto the back straight essentially here. I normally do a slight lift occasionally going through that right-hander. Some cars you don't have to, and arguably on soft tyres you don't. But just be cautious of understeer. Blanchimon is completely flat, as you can see here. Very nice and easy. That downforce doing all magical wonders as we head towards the bus stop chicane. Now, I would either use the 150 board on the left-hand side, or, Wiz, a shout out for you for this, because there it is again, the billboard on the right-hand side, okay? The billboard on the right that I've highlighted there, that's actually my marker for this final corner, okay? Really good marker, actually, because it's just after the 150 board, so it allows me to brake better. Cut a lot of the right here. Let's go towards the left. Just be careful on exit now, because when you start to accelerate, you've got no downforce there, because you're going so slow, you will get a bit of wheel spin, okay? And that's a 15-0. Do expect low 14s here, maybe even a 13, potentially, from those that tune their car. And get it right, essentially. Right, here we go with the bloopers. So race A, the French driver just understeered off. I did talk about this understeer. It's big. It's really, really big understeer. So you need to be in first gear and just allow the car to roll a little bit there. We go to race B then. So this is the incident at turn 2 that we didn't see, but we gained the position from. Coming into the braking zone then. They released the brakes there to try and get ahead, which didn't really work out there, to be honest with you. As we then go to the Ferrari. What happened to the Ferrari into this right-hander? We've got somebody else off there. That was Dav running wide. And yeah, it looks like we have just ran a bit wide there in the Ferrari. And you can see them trying to come across there. So that's not going to work. You're going to see me on the inside then. Was this my fault at all? No, not my fault at all. Giving each other space. Happy days, good racing there. It's always good to see. And let's have a look as we go up here. Again, giving each other space, which is good. As we go into the left-hander. And the Ferrari maintaining. Oh, that's how... The Ferrari did really well to hang it around the outside there. Fair play to them. Right, we also saw another incident here. What happened to Dav? Dav got pushed off there slightly. And we did see the Greek driver get a penalty. What penalty was it? 4 seconds. Wow. I wouldn't say it's arguably a massive fault to them, but it is what it is. We did see the German off as well here. So this corner is going to have lots of incidents. I'm pretty sure I pointed that out to you there. We've had, 4 cars there? We've watched the bloopers for. This is the incident I had with Mario Sonic. Coming into here, you can see that I'm trying to lift to stop the understeer a little bit. Not really working out and allowed Mario Sonic to go. Yeah, completely my fault there. Obviously, it's just a small racing incident, nothing major. Here's Sandy Bandy then. As you can see there, I don't know, maybe they're just straightened up. I'm not too sure. It's a bit weird, really, in terms of just pushing me out there. Should have just kept a bit more to the left as we head towards the bus stop. So obviously, we did see some incidents here then. What actually happened? Go up ahead. McLaren's gone there. And, Sandy Bandy. I'm not too... pleased seeing that. He just accelerated into Inferno Fox there. That wasn't the greatest. What actually happened with Zalar then? So this is the McLaren that got spun around. Going through here, there's a slight tap on Wesley there. So they were having a bit of a, racing action up ahead. Going through Blanchimon, wasn't there? Went to the braking zone though. You can see it wasn't malicious in any way as they slowed it down nicely there for this one. But Wesley just accelerates there a little bit and that forces the McLaren round. And then obviously that then forced the additional incident with Sandy Bambi. I can't even remember the name now. So here's with Muscafi then around the outside of Blanchimon as we come through here. I mean, look, there's nothing in it, really. It's beautiful racing, I'd actually argue. Really good racing there in Muscafi. So nothing to worry about there at all. Now, was this anybody's fault at all? Let's have a look at this one then as we go into Lake Combe. So we're side by side in towards the right. Oh, okay. I see what happened there. So I did straighten up because I did see the Genesis come towards me a little bit there. Now, was that the curb? Was that just straightening up? Well, let's have a look at it here. I think the car just got a tiny bit unsettled there and I tried to take avoiding action. So there's nothing in it really. It's just racing. You know, these things happen in racing. It's all good. And great racing with you, Muscafi, as well there. Unfortunately, folks, that is going to be it for this week's video. There are 2 videos there to check out if you haven't got bored of my voice yet and you want to see some really good videos. They are there for you. Do subscribe to the channel to stay in touch with all the latest content. A big thank you for the support and I hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.